Stop me if you heard this before. A betting scandal is rocking sports, this time in college basketball, and one former Oregon Duck is involved. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
Plus, a new report is showing that the number of unsheltered people went down, but the total number of people experiencing homelessness went up in Portland. What's driving that increase? Also ahead, fans are counting down to the big NFC matchup tomorrow. How Seattle is prepping for Saturday's game. Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green. We have Rod Hill and Chris McGinnis standing by for a look at your weather and traffic.
Hi, it's going to be a beautiful day. We do have strong gusty east winds out along the Columbia River coming right out of the gorge. So you folks in Fairview and Troutdale in close proximity to the gorge opening, you're actually under a wind advisory today. Winds gusting to 50 and even slightly higher at times. Those east winds will be relentless. But you get away from that and winds are pretty light. And in fact, we have frost on the ground in front of the state capitol where it's obviously been freezing, 33 right now at McNary Field. Pretty shot of the clear skies over downtown Portland right now. 38 degrees is the number out of PDX. So it's mainly clear. We'll be upper 40s at noon. We'll get up into the low to mid 50s this afternoon. Again, if you don't live right there near the gorge opening, your winds are going to be light to 5 to 15. Here's Chris.
Got a tailwind coming in from Troutdale. Helps with the gas mileage. Right now, that drive in from Troutdale is about 18 minutes. 22 minutes into the wind, lighter wind on Highway 26 coming in from Hillsborough. No major local freeway trouble out there just yet. We're off to a pretty good start. A reminder tonight, the I-205 Abernathy Bridge closes. Full closure both directions from 11 to 6. And tomorrow night, that closure is from 11 to 7 as ODOT continues work on the Abernathy Bridge seismic retrofitting project. Again, your detours 99E, Highway 43, and I-5. And tomorrow, heads up in downtown, we'll have multiple bridge lifts of the Morrison Bridge between 7 and 4, duration of up to 20 minutes. And that could back up the drive getting to and from I-5 and downtown. Again, Morrison Bridge being that main connector from downtown to the I-5 freeway. We'll keep you posted. China?
Thank you, Chris. A person is in critical condition this morning after authorities say a freight train struck and injured that person last night. This happened just before 7 on Union Pacific Railroad tracks near Northeast 158th and Rose Parkway. Because of a lack of access to the tracks, firefighters had to use a ladder and ropes to lower down from I-84 and rescue the victim. Meantime, 3 people were taken to the hospital, one of them by life flight after a multi-car crash south of Wilsonville. This happened just before 7:30 last night on I-5 northbound near the Charbonneau on-ramp. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue says 4 vehicles were involved in the crash, including one semi-truck. And in Lincoln County, a pilot walked away with minor injuries after his helicopter went down yesterday. So this is a look at the wreckage in a cow pasture about 6 miles from Siletz. No animals were hurt, no buildings were damaged. The helicopter is registered to the Weyerhaeuser Company. A spokesperson tells us that they are working with officials to figure out what caused this crash. In Cowlitz County, firefighters helped save a 2-week-old calf after a barn caught fire. The blaze broke out Wednesday night in a rural area southeast of Kelso. Crews found the calf as they were putting out the flames and pulled it out of the barn. The fire was under control in about an hour. Turns out it was started by a heat lamp. All right, we are learning more about one of the biggest scandals in college basketball history. A new federal indictment accuses more than a dozen players of shaving points, including a former Oregon Duck. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us now from Northwest Portland. And Thomas, there is a lot to unpack here.
A lot to unpack and a lot of money on the line here. We're talking millions of dollars in bets allegedly made by fixers and hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribe payouts to players. Now, the federal investigators believe this is happening both in college games and also Chinese games. Feds believe those involved began rigging those games beginning in 2022. Of the 26 people indicted, 22 of them are former college players, including former Duck Jalen Terry. He played for Oregon for 1 season back in 2021. Prosecutors say Terry's involvement in the scheme happened later, during the 2023-24 season when he was playing for DePaul. Federal investigators accuse Terry and 3 of his teammates of taking bribes to underperform in the first halves of 3 games.
They did so with carefully orchestrated FaceTime calls to obscure and prevent their communications from being intercepted and recorded.
So here's how they did it. Investigators say fixers would bet hundreds of thousands of dollars on games. Players would earn between 10 to 30 grand for underperforming. The indictment suggests some players were targeted for the scheme because they were missing out on NIL money. And some experts say they're not surprised we've reached this point.
With the legalization of sports gambling, this has opened up Pandora's box to things like this happening more often.
And yeah, it's not just at the college level that this is happening. Remember back in October, former Blazers coach Chauncey Billups got caught up in something similar. He was accused of being a part of rigged poker games where the mafia was involved. There's also an unnamed person who has been accused of rigging an NBA game that matches Billups' description. Billups has denied all those allegations. Jenna?
All right, Thomas Schultz reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Thomas. And when it comes to the case against Billups, you may recall that he pleaded not guilty in federal court in November and was released on bond. He's currently barred from gambling and his travel is limited. He's also on unpaid leave from the team. All 31 defendants in that gambling case are due back in court in March. The judge has said that he hopes to hold a trial in the fall. A new Portland State University report shows that while the last year's unsheltered homelessness count went down, the overall number rose. So let's break this down for you. Governor Kotek highlighted a 4% reduction in unsheltered homelessness since the last point-in-time count, which is federally required every 2 years. But between 2023 and 2025, the overall number rose from about 20,000 to more than 27,000. With the rise in economic insecurity and shortage of affordable housing cited as reasons. Now, the report found that sheltered homelessness grew the most over that 2-year period due to investments in more shelter beds throughout the state.
30 years ago, my God, this place was packed.
A once bustling grocer on Portland's Produce Row is now at risk of closing. Sheridan Fruit Company, which has been in business since 1916, is begging customers to come back. But the president says she's having trouble both filling the shelves and selling enough to stay open.
It means a lot to me personally. You know, I don't want to see this go away. And there's so many things out of my control.
And she says part of the problem is rising prices from suppliers. Sheridan also used to deliver to hundreds of restaurants around town, but many of them have now closed. Sheridan's president says that they aren't trying to work with different vendors to hopefully get shelves more fully stocked and people back in the door. All right, if you are fans of comics, movies, TV shows, or cosplay, this weekend is for you. Fan Expo Portland kicks off today at the Oregon Convention Center, and thousands are set to attend. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from the expo as things get set up with what you can expect. Corey.
Yeah, good morning, China. We're live here at the Oregon Convention Center. Vendors getting set up right now for the Fan Expo that fans can come and participate in as we get into the later part of the day. But it's going to bring together thousands of people under one roof celebrating pop culture fandom. The event is part of a series of Comic-Con style conventions put on by Fan Expo HQ. And so it's taking a deeper dive into pop culture. You can expect celebrity guests like Elijah Wood and Sean Astin from The Lord of the Rings. There will also be some panels and some discussions so you can learn more about what it took to make the TV shows, the movies that you know and love that have become really cult classics. Along with those panels and discussions, people will be cosplaying. Lots of cosplayers set to attend today's event. And honestly, the expo is going to create a family-friendly atmosphere as well. If you want to take away some souvenirs, you also have an opportunity for some autographed materials also. But there is a major event that is set to take place. It's sold out for the first day on our Friday, but Saturday there are still tickets still available. It's an evening with the Hobbits. It's a celebration of 25 years of The Lord of the Rings. And so it's definitely an event that you don't want to miss. Tickets are still available for those. But things like this, signed, autographed pictures that you can get. This is from the Star Wars series, but it's going to be a fun time. A lot of people are looking forward to this. Again, it's taking over the Oregon Convention Center, and we're going to be here the rest of the morning talking about the vendors and all things that you can expect to see, particularly movie film and the role that it's played, the importance that it's had in cinema history. Back to you.
Our Corey Johnson reporting live for us. Thank you, Corey. All right, your time now is 8:09. We are taking a live look from our Vancouver waterfront sky cam. beautiful sunrise this morning. It makes you feel like you're in July or August, Rod.
You're not. But yes, I get it. Do you remember yesterday, China? It was in this hour that very same Vancouver camera was starting to show little hints of the sun breaking through the clouds. And we said around 10 o'clock, it would all go poof. It wasn't quite exactly at the strike of 10, but it was pretty close and everything did go poof. Well, we've been clear since then, we are still clear out there this morning. One of the stories today is the east wind. Currently, Troutdale sustained at 29 miles per hour. Wind gust in the same location, 43 miles per hour, have been as strong as 49. This is interesting because it's windy right smack dab near the opening of the Columbia, the gorge out into the Columbia River into Multnomah County, and that's it. You get away from this Fairview, you get away from the Troutdale area, and winds are kind of non-existent out there, and that's the way it will be today. Windy for you folks right there. The rest of us not bad. We have clear skies over the Reserve Vineyards Golf Club, and it looks like there is a little bit of frost on the grass now. Looking at the golf course, 38 though is the nearby reporting temperature, which is obviously well above freezing. Here's Willamette Valley Vineyards. This is in Turner, just south of Salem, showing the perfectly clear skies in the heart of the valley right there. One of the beautiful wineries. 31 up in Scappoose, where there's been a little bit of fog at times, but nothing overly so. 31 in Battleground now has fallen off. All these areas have at least some wind moving the air where it's in the 40s, including downtown Portland 41. But the flags haven't been showing much movement. We've got fog down around Corvallis and Albany where it's certainly frosty, 29 degrees. Later today, clouds from Pendleton to the Dalles down to parts of central Oregon. Otherwise, it's all sunny. Another day where Tillamook could hit 60. We've been saying it's great cheese, ice cream, eating weather in Tillamook. 55 today, 53 tomorrow. Enjoy a sunny upcoming weekend, Chris.
Thank you for that, Rod. We start with a TriMet alert. The Max Green Line right now. TriMet telling us that they've found some debris on the overhead wires near Fuller Road, so that's creating delays on the Green Line up to 15 minutes. So just be aware of that. The drive, as Rod has mentioned, that low cloud lockdown on the eastern part of the state is creating some foggy and maybe even some icy conditions. This is US 197 near Ty Ridge. That's in Wasco County, right? So Wasco, Sherman, Morrow, Gillum counties. This is a lot of what your day is probably going to look like for most of the day. This is out near Pendleton, so just be aware of that traveling through that part of the state. Locally, the freeway drive has been fine all morning long. It's bright, it's sunny, and drive volume is a little lighter than the Monday through Thursday commute, at least thus far. Right now, 21 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough.
Thank you, Chris. Could Seahawks fans cause an earthquake this weekend? What researchers will be measuring, and it won't be for a first down. Also ahead.
President Trump praising the gift of a Nobel Peace Prize from Venezuela's opposition leader, calling it a gesture of mutual respect. I'm Alice Barr in Washington with the latest details coming up.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Seahawks fans are hoping for another win against the 49ers tomorrow at Lumen Field. And the big rivalry has some scientists wondering if Seattle fans will cause another quake like the so-called Beast Quake in 2011. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network has set up 6 sensors on the concrete around the stadium to see whether fans have the ground shaking, which occurs when enough people celebrate. And this is what the devices will look like. The network's director says that they will have a team at the stadium monitoring it in real time.
The goal is really just to actually make a scientific measurement of how hard the place shakes when the 12s get going. And it's the same thing an earthquake does in many ways, but it's coming from just everybody jumping up and down and hooting and hollering in the stands.
So you might remember the famous 2011 Beast Quake when Marshawn Lynch completed a 67-yard touchdown run against the Saints. Researchers say this time around they'll have a more accurate reading because that quake was picked up from a device near the stadium, not inside the actual stadium. And a Seahawks fan has become a viral sensation, all because of his striking resemblance to the team's quarterback, Sam Darnold. Brady Wakayama spoke with his rising internet star dubbed Stan Darnold.
The minute he joined the Seahawks, the first thing I did was I told my wife, we're getting the jersey. We're leaning into this. This is fun.
The fun all started during last month's Seahawks game against the Carolina Panthers, when TV cameras spotted 27-year-old Ben Conklin rocking a Sam Darnold jersey. Ben grew up in Maltby, Washington, but these days he calls Charlotte home.
He is stoked to be on television. Can't believe it.
And now he's known by many as Stan Darnold.
It's been a running joke in my family and with a lot of my friends that I really look like Sam. My fantasy football name for a long time has been Discount Darnold. He's a little more handsome than I am. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun emotions when I saw the broadcast picked up the similarity. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is so vindicating.
The moment blew up. The Seahawks tracked Ben down online, helping him send this message to Sam ahead of the playoffs.
Hey Sam, it's Stan here. Congratulations on a fantastic 2025 season and taking down the #1 overall seed in the NFC.
Was Sam sending his own message back?
There it is. That's awesome. My ginger brother.
Yeah, definitely a big fan of him. I'm honestly any redheads in the NFL. I'm always a big fan of. Before he even joined the Seahawks, I had a Carolina Panthers Sam Darnold jersey from when he was on the team, just because I got to rep my redheads.
So when might we see this redhead again?
I'll be there on Saturday, so pretty excited.
To be back in the stands at home, ready for another game he hopes to talk about for years.
I got married in October last year, and that's going to be pretty impossible to top. But I think this is a pretty strong second, more than I could ever dream for, being such a diehard Seahawks fan.
Reporting for King 5 News, I'm Brady Wakayama.
And speaking of Darnold, he's listed as questionable heading into Saturday's game. He's dealing with an oblique injury, but he said the percentage of him not playing is very low, closer to 0.
Feel good. Yeah, obviously, just in routes on air, just kind of felt a little something in my oblique. Just didn't want to push it. Wasn't the day to push it, so that was it. So just came inside, got some rehab, and feel like I'll be ready to go for Saturday.
Big game on Saturday.
15 days off since he last took a shot. So I'm sure there's no way he's missing the game.
He's good to go.
It's kind of a big game for him because there was some criticism. That's why he was traded. He was great in the regular season, didn't win in the postseason.
So, although he had a really good game in San Francisco 2 weeks ago. So he had a good game.
Hawks look good, man. Hawks look good. All right, speaking of, if you like sunshine, it's a good-looking forecast. High-pressure ridge goes up, and around, and that means we will be dry until it breaks down. The soonest or earliest sign of any breakdown in that ridge that could lead to a rain chance is Wednesday. But those rain chances, let's say the rain chances Wednesday into Thursday, a couple days back, look that good. Now the rain chances kind of look like that. So hard to tell how long this dry weather is going to last. The only thing Futurecast really shows is what I refer to as a low cloud lockdown. And I'm honored because Chris likes the term. He's been using it too, the low cloud lockdown. From Kennewick to Pendleton out into the Dalles. This is temperature inversion caused. You get the low clouds, they form, the inversion traps the cold air down low. It never mixes out, and it's kind of a low cloud, foggy, still day with chilly temperatures that warm up either nothing to usually no more than about 5 degrees from whatever your low is. So that's the day ahead for you folks from the Dalles out into Pendleton. We had a surfer. This is so cool, this seaside camera. Look at all the surfers. They're all over the place. This has turned out to be our surf camera. Apparently this cove, which is south of downtown Seaside, is really popular for surfers. That's been really fun to watch. Here is that low cloud lockdown, if you will, from the Oregon Veterans Home camera out in the Dalles. And look at the wind, calm, temperature's 39. So I would say at most you folks are going to warm to 44 today because the sky condition will look like that all day. Beautifully bright, and you can definitely see the contrast of the white frost on the grass from our live camera in Salem. 33 is the number at McNary Field. We've got clear conditions at the coast. Newport 52 this morning. Good morning to you. Freezing with some fog in Eugene. That may take a little while to get out, but yesterday you folks did break out of it. You warmed into the mid 40s. North of that, we're certainly all clear and up into the 50s today once again. This shows Salem at 56 degrees. I'll move over here so you can see the numbers. Southwest Washington, Battleground 57. Again, the east winds are howling to 45, even 50 or better potentially along the Columbia, right in the opening of the gorge, right coming across the Sandy River, for example. It's going to be a windy day. 55, 53, 51, generally sunny skies into the holiday weekend. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is on Monday, and there's that weakening shower threat on Wednesday and Thursday that, again, now looks like that. Here's Chris.
Every time Rod says low cloud lockdown, I go jukebox hero. Low cloud lock. All right. US 197, speaking of this is getting into the Columbia Basin here, and it is certainly foggy, so down low. Not only that, but the temperatures are below freezing. So this is what it's likely to look like for a lot of the day today and maybe even tomorrow. This is out near Pendleton on I-84, so be aware that there could be some slick spots on the roads in that part of the state as well. Locally, the freeway drive has been light for most of the morning. The morning commute still zipping right along. 21 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough, 24 minutes from Wilsonville this morning. A reminder, the Abernathy Bridge closes overnight tonight and tomorrow night. ODOT continuing that seismic retrofitting of the bridge, and so that closure from tonight is 11 to 6 and 11 to 7 tomorrow. And then tomorrow in downtown, this is a big deal if you're trying to get to and from downtown from I-5, the Morrison Bridge, Multnomah County doing some maintenance on the motors that rise and lower the bridge. To do that, those bridge lifts will last up to 20 minutes. There will be multiple bridge lifts throughout the day from 7 to 4, so obviously that could create some delays on I-5 during the day tomorrow. China?
Thank you, Chris. President Trump has been gifted a Nobel Peace Prize, but is it legitimate? Who gave it to him after the break?
KGW's Evening News. Important stories to help you stay informed and keep your family safe.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko.
Weather impact alerts to help you plan your week.
We need to be extra careful with anything that can throw a spark.
And a team of local journalists connected to our community. David Molko, Christine Pitawanich, and Matt Zaffino. Your Evening News team, tonight on KGW.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
During a visit to the White House yesterday, Venezuela's opposition leader gifted President Donald Trump her Nobel Peace Prize. NBC's Alice Barr has more from Washington, D.C.
Closing out an eventful week on the world stage, President Trump is now in possession of a Nobel Peace Prize, presented to him by Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado.
And a recognition for his unique commitment with our freedom.
She told Fox News the gift is on behalf of the people of Venezuela.
He deserves it.
The president called it a wonderful gesture of mutual respect, though it is symbolic, with the Nobel Institute saying the prize cannot be transferred. Machado's visit comes amid uncertainty over her role in Venezuela's future. Following the U.S. ouster of authoritarian leader Nicolas Maduro, President Trump said he did not believe Machado had the respect to lead. Florida Republican lawmakers hoping she'll prove otherwise.
She's the legitimate leader of the opposition in Venezuela. She proved it. She earned it.
President Trump has said the U.S. would run Venezuela until a safe transition can be made, and praised interim president and Maduro loyalist Delcy Rodriguez.
She's somebody that we've worked with very well.
Citing her support this week of a U.S. sale of Venezuelan oil, while U.S. forces seized another oil tanker linked to Venezuela that Homeland Security says was illegally defying sanctions. All that as President Trump is closely monitoring tensions in Iran, noting the Iranian regime backed off planned executions of protesters after the president warned the U.S. could take action. U.S.-based human rights activists say more than 2,600 people have died in the crackdown on anti-government protesters, and the White House says all options remain on the table.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days.
Good morning, I'm China Green. In Lincoln County, a pilot walked away with minor injuries after his helicopter went down yesterday. This is a look at the wreckage in a cow pasture about 6 miles from Siletz. No animals were hurt, no buildings damaged. The helicopter is registered to the Weyerhaeuser Company. A spokesperson tells us they are working with officials to figure out what caused the crash. Headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Weather-wise, not everybody, but most of us waking up to beautiful clear skies, including you folks along the coast at Schnuckwins Casino Resort in Lincoln City. And here's the Chehalem Tasting Room camera out over the vineyard looking at Mount Hood on your left. Portland is at 38. There are frosty spots around with freezing temperatures as well. 48 degrees at noon. Yesterday was 50. Yesterday it was 57, I think was the high. Today will be at least low to mid 50s again. I have Portland getting up to about 55. And basically, it's a sunny weekend. We've got clear skies today, clear skies tomorrow. Might have east winds fade enough to start getting some valley fog on Saturday or by Sunday morning. Those east winds in places like Troutdale could gust to 50 or better today.
If you are unusually short or tall, you can cross one Super Bowl dream off of your prospects list. Bad Bunny's halftime show has height requirements for some workers. Applications indicate only people between 5'7" and 6 feet are eligible.
No,
you're out.
We're out.
We're out.
This is not right.
The company that is handling the application says the height requirements is very important, but doesn't say why. So
I could still get on the roller coaster at Oaks Park, though, so I'm okay.
We said 5'7" and 6 feet. I'm 5'2" in socks.
That gives you that extra eighth of an inch.
What are you, Chris? Are you right about
5'10"?
I used to be 5'11". I probably shrunk, a half an inch.
Well, they say I've shrunk too, although I'm listing 5'4" on my driver's license until the day
You and
I
Tom
die.
Cruise.
Yes.
Don't tell that. People at home think you're like 6'1".
Thank you. Here's a look at our sky camera. The contrast really is something in terms of seeing the frost on the grass right there. Beautiful morning, obviously no fog and obviously clear, 33, obviously chilly with the frost on the grass. Here is the Rose City. That's just a picture perfect morning of the sun now illuminating the downtown buildings. Temperature out at the airport is 38 degrees. We've stayed above freezing in downtown Portland as well this morning. Your day moving forward is a sunny one. 48 at noon, and then I have us low to mid-50s this afternoon. Now, if you're watching us from Troutdale, if you're watching us from Fairview, you folks under a wind advisory where those east winds coming out of the gorge will be relentless today, and they could gust at times actually to 50, 55 miles per hour. I know Troutdale's at least spiked at 49 mile per hour winds this morning. So we have that going on. Now that east wind actually drives the clear skies, and away from that proximity to the gorge, winds are generally light. This shows 57 in Tillamook, 50s up and down I-5. We do have low clouds, borderline foggy conditions that will hold all day from Pilton back into the Dalles. That's why you see 34 and 41 for temperatures, and some of those low clouds spilling down into parts of central Oregon today as well. But it will be sunny in John Day, Baker City, and Burns, and it's clear up over Mount Hood this morning. Portland 55, sunny forecast. 53 tomorrow. East winds start to fade as we go into the back half of the weekend. That will eventually open up the door to get back into more widespread valley fog. Could have that on Monday for Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Forecasting 51. Then we have rain chances showing up on Wednesday and Thursday. Those rain chances all of a sudden do not look very good. Here's Chris.
Rod, I offended Tom Cruise earlier.
Yeah, I know. He's like 5'7".
He's 5'7".
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, on a serious note here, we do have a couple of TriMet alerts to pass along now. The Max Blue and Red Line delayed up to 15 to 20 minutes because of an operator issue, and the Max Green Line now delayed up to 15 minutes because of debris on the overhead wires near Fuller Road. So be aware of that. As you hit the road this morning, looks like we've got some trouble on the west side now, inbound on the Sunset. I don't see it from this camera here, but ODOT is reporting a disabled vehicle between 217 and Sylvan. So that's got the eastbound drive running a little thick. And of course, now we're right at that time of the morning where the sun is right in the driver's face, right? I guess a nice problem to have on a Friday. 22 minutes gets you in from Hillsborough. 26 minutes now, the northbound drive from Wilsonville.
Thank you, Chris. An Oregon City man who pleaded guilty to killing his girlfriend and dumped her body in the woods has now been sentenced to life in prison. 56-year-old William Blake admitted to shooting 38-year-old Jennifer Stewart at his home in August. Prosecutors say Blake then drove to a Home Depot where he bought a tote, garbage bags, and gloves, then dumped Stewart's remains on Forest Service land. In court, the victim's mother called Blake a, quote, rabid savage beast. Gresham police are asking for your help finding this missing 14-year-old girl. So take a good look at your screen right now. Authorities say Annabella Wimberly was last seen leaving Gresham High School at 12:30 yesterday afternoon. She hasn't been seen since. At the time, she was wearing a light-colored hoodie and carrying a teal polka dot backpack. If you know where Annabella is, call 911. 2 people are facing charges in Scappoose after police found dead tortoises while serving a search warrant for a shooting investigation. So police say that the investigation along Northwest Manor Drive began earlier this year. When officers searched the home on Wednesday, they found the tortoises along with 2 other neglected turtles and multiple guns. 45-year-old Daniel Salvi faces gun charges, while 43-year-old Casey Satchel is charged with felony animal neglect. New this morning, a group of U.S. senators are speaking out about changes to the U.S. Postal Service. A processing change could affect mail-in voting. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz has more.
This all comes after an update from the Postal Service saying that postmarks may no longer indicate when mail is received, but instead when it's processed. 16 senators are pushing back, including both from Oregon Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden, who wrote to the Postmaster General saying these changes will be a big problem for states that vote largely or entirely by mail. Of course, here in Oregon and up in Washington, many people do vote by mail. In their letter, senators wrote people in rural areas may be most affected, arguing that even if someone gets their ballot in on time, they're at risk of their vote not being counted as the ballot instead sits at a local post office. Though a spokesperson for the post office says the processing changes will not change existing operations or practices, adding the agency looks forward to clarifying the senators' misunderstanding. Still, election officials in Washington are urging constituents to get those ballots in a week in advance just to ensure that they are counted. In Northwest Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
The Portland Metro Chamber has released the findings from its annual survey of voters, and it shows what some might call concerning trends, especially when it comes to affordability. So 52% of those surveyed now say that their household is worse off financially than 2 years ago. That is way up from just 17% back in 2017. And for the first time in the survey's history, over half of Tri-County voters say that they believe their economic opportunities are poor or very poor.
People are feeling that Portland is less affordable than it was in the past. They're financially stressed today, and they're worried about their opportunities in the future.
Meantime, only 9% of respondents believe that their economic situation will be better 1 year from now. On the bright side, the data shows positive trends for downtown Portland, including a 17% increase in Tri-County visitors from outside the city since 2023. ODOT is warning that without more support, service and staffing cuts are on the way. So the Department of Transportation says it now has a funding gap of $242 million. That could mean cutting more than 1,000 positions and reducing service. In a committee meeting earlier this week, lawmakers suggested that ODOT needs more flexibility. The agency is required to keep costs for operations and maintenance to 6% of its budget, with the vast majority of spending earmarked for new construction.
It is the legislature that directed ODOT to spend all this money on capital projects that has now sucked up all the money and pulled it away from operations and maintenance.
So while Democrats passed a transportation funding package last session, Republicans gathered enough signatures to put parts of it, including a hike in the gas tax, to voters in November. Governor Kotek is now calling for the bill to be repealed so lawmakers can start over on ODOT funding during next month's short session. TriMet had the first of several in-person open houses yesterday to discuss planned service cuts. Those cuts include eliminating part of the Greenbacks line as well as changes to 35 different bus lines. Several open houses are planned in the coming weeks. You can find one close to you at TriMet.org. All right, we are headed over to Chris McGinnis for a look at your traffic.
Yeah, a reminder from TriMet, by the way, we've got some delays right now on the Max Blue, Red, and Green lines. Max Blue and Red lines delayed up to 15 minutes. Max Green line delayed up to 15 minutes because of some debris on the overhead wires, it sounds like, near Fuller Road. So just know that that's going to take you some extra time for your commute. Over on the west side, ODOT reporting a disabled vehicle on the inbound Sunset. You can't see it from this camera, but certainly you can see the logjam here between 217 and Sylvan. So right now that eastbound drive is tied up a little bit. You can see the slowing starts out near Cedar Hills Boulevard. You're tripping from Hills Road. Not bad, but it is building. 24 minutes now to get you in from that side of town. A reminder, as we've been talking about throughout the week, I-205, the Abernathy Bridge closes both directions overnight tonight and tomorrow night as ODOT continues the seismic retrofitting update of that bridge. 99 Eve, Highway 43, I-5, of course, are detours around that. And tomorrow, Multnomah County doing some work on the Morrison Bridge, and that'll mean frequent bridge lifts lasting up to 20 minutes at a time from 7 a.m. until as late as 4 p.m. So, of course, that's one of the main routes off of I-5 into downtown China. Anyone driving on I-5 near the Morrison Bridge tomorrow may see some backups as a result of this. Back to you.
Thank you, Chris.
This was not a role that I was seeking, absolutely. But I accept it with as much humility and honor as I can, because I recognize how important this moment is.
That's Portland's new City Council President Jamie Dunphy, who won the top spot after more than a dozen rounds of voting. His last-minute nomination breaking the council's week-long stalemate. And now, just days after he was elected, Dunphy is doubling down on his message that becoming council president was never his goal. Though now that he's in the role, his top priorities include addressing the city's permitting process, crumbling infrastructure, unspent housing money, and creating unity on council.
Candidly, there was a lot of ugliness that happened in the last couple of days. We need to find a path forward. We need to demonstrate that this is a body of serious lawmakers who are serious about the future of the city.
And you can hear more from Dunphy right here on KGW when he joins Blair Best for a live interview at 6:30. Check this out. The Blue Angels paid a visit to the Rose City ahead of this year's International Air Show in Oregon. We spoke to 2 officers from the demo team at the Portland Air National Guard Base.
It's got a fantastic lineup from what I've seen so far. McMinnville is always a fantastic show. We haven't been here since 2023, and the entire team is eager to come back.
It's incredible. I mean, we're all here for this, as part of the Blue Angels mission, and we are entrusted to wear these crests and represent the United States Navy and Marine Corps day in and day out, no matter how far away from any military base we may be. So it's a huge honor, and every time we get into this jet, we feel that sense of motivation.
The Blue Angels will show up in the skies over McMinnville in mid-August.
And we're coming to you live from the Oregon Convention Center this morning. We're talking all things Fan Expo pop culture, and specifically how movie fans can take home a piece of film history this weekend.
Hey, you know how we do it. Our team is always testing tons of products. We get rid of the rejects, only show you the best ones, and that's why I want to show you this thing today. It's the Tire Hero Portable Tire Inflator. Let me shut this off for a second. Literally true story, 2 weeks ago, I got stuck on the side of the road, glass in the tire. I barely made it to the gas station. Almost cost me hundreds of dollars to tow. So you need one of these anyway. The reason I think this is one of the best on the market is for this reason. Come on. And let me show you. So let's say you don't know the PSI of your car, you don't know what it's supposed to be, or if you want to inflate a ball, it does it for you. So you see the little car icon right there? You can flip through these. Okay, I want to do my car. No, I want to do my motorcycle, little motorcycle icon. I want to do my bicycle tire, or I want to do a soccer ball or an exercise ball. I just blew these up. The other cool thing about this is this. Come on and look at this. It's got the USB adapters here. It acts as a portable battery charger, so you can charge your tablet, you can charge your phone. It also comes with all these different nozzles for kind of anything you would have. It's small enough to literally, I mean, it's a pretty packed glove compartment, right? Look at that. It still fits. Nice and easy. Got a great deal for you on this today. And by the way, you want one of these anyway. You want this anyway because you can save $60 a year for properly inflated tires. So why wouldn't you? Get this one though, because I think it's the best on the market. $69.99 normally. Got a deal for you today. 20% off down to $55.99. Scan the QR code on the screen right now or go to shoptvdeals.com.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
If you're a fan of comics, movies, TV shows, or cosplay, this weekend is going to blow your mind because Fan Expo Portland kicks off today at the Oregon Convention Center and thousands are set to attend. So Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson getting into things out there as it begins to set up. Corey.
That's right. Good morning, China. Tens of thousands of fans are set to come here to the Oregon Convention Center for Fan Expo. Now, over the last few hours, we've been telling you about everything you can take part in, between coming to see celebrities, top celebrities, getting autographs, making sure that you participate in cosplay. But there's also a fun element for movie fans, and that includes vintage movie film sales. And so I'm here with the owner of the golden era of cinema, Rick Dulfer. So talk a little bit more about what exactly film sales are.
It's an actual piece of movie history. It's an actual piece of movie film that actually played in theaters, and I'm looking for small fragments of film. The movie studios own the movie reels, so at the end of the theatrical run, the reels went back. Those reels were generally shredded. The studios didn't want people bootlegging off the reels. So I'm looking for scraps of film from when either the film broke or the projection snipped a little bit off before they sent the reels back. And then I custom cut the most iconic scenes, and I put them in a double mat with a mini poster, and we've got a piece of cinema history.
That is amazing. And so for those who love cinema and love film, I mean, this is from the actual movies, and it almost feels like you can have a piece of the movie yourself.
Exactly. It's not a replica. It's not a duplicate. It's an actual real piece of movie film from the studios that played in theaters. It's a unique gift. Everyone's got a favorite movie. So it makes a great gift for people that are hard to shop for. Or if you're a movie geek like me, it's fun to have a piece of film from one of your favorite movies.
And that's a good segue. I mean, people who love pop culture have probably heard of so many of these titles that you have. But what are, like, if you had to guess, the top three that sell for you the most?
Oh, boy. Well, by decade, I would say it's the 1980s sells the best. And I would say Top Gun, Breakfast Club, Goonies, Princess Bride. So many of these films that now have multiple generations that follow the movie. But if you want to talk about the classics, Wizard of Oz, Breakfast at Tiffany's, Gone with the Wind, every decade has those signature films or those iconic scenes.
And then lastly, I mean, the Fan Expo brings together a lot of people who love pop culture, but can you talk about the significance of preserving film sales and the importance of what you do?
Oh, that's a great question. Everything's digital now. January 1st, 2014, it went 100% digital. So every year that we get removed from the film era, it's more difficult to find the film. There's very little of it that survived. So I'm trying to find as much as I can, as quickly as I can, and then get this out for people before this ends up in landfill or just buried forever.
All right, Rick, well, thank you so much. And honestly, I'm probably going to be his first customer because I've already spotted my favorite movie of all time, Pulp Fiction, China. I cannot wait to definitely take this home. But it's certainly a great gift and one of the many features, one of the many vendors that you can expect to see here at Fan Expo this weekend.
All right, Corey Johnson reporting live for us this morning. Thank you, Corey. Rod Hill is on the weather deck, and before you ask, no, I have not seen Pulp Fiction.
You have not?
No.
Do you know who stars in it, the two main characters?
I know
the
some
actor.
girl with short black hair, and then John Travolta.
Yeah, and Mr.
Okay.
Jackson.
Who?
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson, yes.
Yeah.
That guy.
All right, we're up here on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking. It's pretty much perfectly clear. There's not much breeze, so in the sun, it actually feels pretty good. We've stayed above freezing here in the downtown core this morning. Satellite picture shows the dryness, which is across our entire region. And really, the only concern here on the west side of our state would be those east winds that are blowing out of the Columbia River Gorge. The Weather Service actually has an advisory up for 45 to 50, 55 mile per hour wind gusts near the gorge. And literally, this is near the gorge. Like, think Columbia River, or excuse me, think Sandy River coming out of the gorge, the I-84 bridge there. That's where the winds are. You get away from that and the winds quickly go away. What you're looking at here are solid clouds from the Dalles back into Pendleton and parts of Central Oregon today, what I call a low cloud lockdown. You get this when you get a temperature inversion it's going to trap this morning's cold temperatures with you all day long. They really won't warm up much. Outside of this area, it will be a sunny day across our two states. Mention the winds currently gusting out of Troutdale to 43 miles per hour. You can see it there. They've been as high as 49. Look at all, those are surfers. Oh my goodness, we've seen a bunch of them on our newest camera. That's our Seaside camera, where the coast will be beautifully clear in mid-50s to even 60 today. There's the rising sun from the Springs of the Waterfront camera, where it is cold, 33. So again, we do have some frosty spots around the region. Your out-the-door numbers include about freezing in Salem, 38 Portland, 36 Kelso, 39 in the Dalles, where you won't warm up much. Only low 40s for a high today. In Pendleton at 31 right now, may stay in the 30s all day long. The coast, I mentioned the sunshine, temperatures mid-50s. It shows 61 in Pacific City. Sunny skies, not much wind. There are the clouds from about Hood River or just east of Hood River into the Dalles, where it will be a much colder day. And again, those gusty winds coming out of the west end of the gorge that we talked about. Sunny weekend ahead, and of course Monday's Dr. Martin Luther King Day, so it looks like your weekend plans are a go. Those east winds will start to fade in the coming days. It is birthday time. All right, our birthday party on this Friday. Bailey, it was 10 today, out in Sherman County. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a fun day. Kevin's 12, got the shades on out there in the sun. Happy birthday, and Evan is celebrating the big 4-0 with a big cheesecake. It doesn't look like he's going to share. Nothing wrong about that on your birthday. That's our list. Birthdays at KGW.com. We'll celebrate with you. Here's Chris.
Strawberry cheesecake. All right, we go from that to a TriMet alert right now. The Max Blue and Red lines may be experiencing delays up to 15 to 20 minutes. And now we're just hearing that the Green Line not only delayed, but TriMet now saying that they are using shuttles to serve stops between Fuller Road and Clackamas Town Center because of some debris on the overhead lines near the Fuller Road stop. All right, inbound Sunset right now running a little thick, 23 minutes to get in from Hillsboro. Reason being, it looks like that disabled vehicle near the Sylvan Hill is still creating some delays here. I don't see it on camera, but I can see the traffic right now out near 217. This is the eastbound drive, of course. That's slow all the way out to almost Cedar Hills Boulevard, so you'll need a few extra minutes getting in from that side of town. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
All right, 7-day forecast. We are clear. We will be clear tomorrow as well. East winds are a big story, but only in close proximity to the gorge. Again, think the Sandy River Bridge on 84. That's where it's really blowing, 40 to 50 miles per hour plus. Otherwise, really nice weather all the way through Dr. Martin Luther King Monday.
All right, traffic alert for this weekend. Starting tonight, the Abernathy Bridge, I-205 between Oregon City and Westland. That closes for 7 hours overnight tonight and 8 hours overnight tomorrow night as ODOT continues retrofitting the bridge there. Your detours, of course, I-5, 99E, Highway 43. And the Morrison Bridge, multiple bridge lifts tomorrow between 7 and 4, durations up to 20 minutes as the county does some maintenance work there.
All right, and if you're looking for something to do this weekend or even today, the Rose City Classic Dog Show going on right now. Thousands of dogs are taking the stage in the show's 77th year. There are categories for all kinds of good and bad boys. Good girls, bad boys, good boys.
Good, aren't they? They're in the show.
Yeah, that's true. And then the Meet the Breeds event gives people the chance to get up and close to 60 different breeds of dogs and find out what makes them special. Oh, okay. Well, now you got me. As long as I can touch the dogs. As long as I can touch the dogs. I don't want to go there and them say, you can't touch it. I have to just what a good boy,
That's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do. And for whatever reason, it doesn't even matter if it's a girl or a boy. That's a good boy. It just that's.
We have to have a fire, by the way. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've been to. I don't think this is a specific dog show, but another dog show, and they're fun to go to. If you're a dog lover, you'll really enjoy it. You'll have a good time.
And they're so smart.
Yeah.
So much more than ours. Hey, a reminder that you can watch Sunrise every day live here exclusively on KGW Plus starting at 7. We also have added another half hour at 12:30 and 5:30 here on Plus. Have a good weekend.